What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part, I want to say 7 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Mannfred von Carstein Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, true to form, Mannfred got his first sudden but inevitable betrayal underway, and very successfully, I might add, as we destroyed the 2 stacks of the Court of Libaras led by High Queen Khalida herself immediately after she did all the work of taking Death Gorge, and does mean that she has lost a fairly significant force of the power of her faction, and we will be looking to essentially occupy all of the Court of Libaras' territories this episode. And that's the plan anyway. Otherwise, we are continuing to push northward with Wilhelm and Bathilda here, and they will hopefully help out, as obviously Manny doesn't want to spend too long here, and he probably will go after the lizards, or at least there's a decent likelihood of him doing so. That said, Nagashazar is also close by, but we'll need to get embroiled in a war with Clan Moors before we do, and we also have to keep an eye on the Empire as well. We'll have to get to Castle Drakenhof, mount an expedition at some point. Anyway, lots of stuff to do, lots more units to try. I'm having a great time, and hopefully you guys as well. Now, before we get started, a couple quick things. First of all, I did, as I was musing last episode, download another mod here, and that mod does this. Allied units in army now 0 out of 20. So instead of the limitation of 4 units from our allies, we can now use as many as we want. I think this is fine in that it is... I really don't see the need for the unit 4 limitation. At least make it like 10 or something. And vanilla, because, well, there's a lot of fun compositions that we could do and try with our various allies. So, you guys let me know how you feel about that. I don't mind deleting it if everybody doesn't like it, but ultimately I don't think it'll change the balance over much at the end of the day, and I think it'll make for more fun and varied armies, giving us some sort of dark empire sort of armies by combining the Vampire Coast and the Vampire Counts units in higher numbers than we otherwise might. Another thing that mod does is it removes the limit on the allegiance generation, in the sense that it's not capped at 100, and it can go higher than 100. Like, it says 100 now, but it can go to, I don't remember what the number was, but which is great, because oftentimes I find myself thinking, oh, we're at 100 and we have to build something or else it's going to waste, you know? It's also been kind of a off limit. And the last thing that it does, I'm a little bit off about, but I couldn't find another mod that replicates the other stuff without doing this. And what it does is, rather than the buffs going to units, it sort of switches them to going to all units of that type. So it should, in theory, then also affect any units that we get from our allies. Granted, this won't matter for range units, which is most of the stuff that we want to take from allies, because we have no buffs to ammunition anyway, and therefore I guess it probably won't matter over much, but we'll see. It does have one issue with it. It does seem to pop monstrous infantry into the line of units that count as a non-monstrous infantry, which will give them additional buffs. Not much, 8 and 8, and frankly, the buffs that monstrous units get are kind of garbage anyway, because, I mean, weapon strength and charge bonus, it's all melee defense and it's all that stuff. So anyway, you guys let me know how you feel about the mod. I think it'll be good, yeah. I think that's it. Got a few names in there. Thanatologist and the statutory lich sense for more tech thieves, and well, we got plenty more of those to come. Anyway, that's enough yammering. Kadan and Wilhelm, or Wilmar. Oh, that's going to get confusing. Somebody called him Wilhelm in the comments, and now I'm going to be stuck constantly confusing him. Wilmar, go. Stormhenge will colonize the place. And Kadan, you're going to pop into Necromantic Ritual, and we're going to get you a couple of those Tomb Scorpions. I was musing about doing Tomb Scorpions last time with Kadan, and ooh, wait, we got a battle marker here. With an Unholy Lodestone, beautiful. Alright, get rid of the 3 zombies then. And we'll raise an Unholy Lodestone. Like so. Alright. That looks good. And then we will go into allied recruitment and we'll get those Tomb Scorpions. I feel like the Tomb Scorpions kind of also make sense for somebody named Kadon, because like the transformation of Kadon is named after a wizard named Kadon, one of the most powerful wizards. The guy that invented the beast lore, essentially. So having sort of beastly constructs for this guy kind of makes sense to me. And who knows? Maybe somebody bound his spirit or something. He probably wouldn't be a necromancer because it's likely that he got stuck in an animal form. You know the game does that transformation of Kadon spell, which allows you to summon a manticore. In reality, you know what I mean. In reality, that's not the way that spell works. The spell is actually supposed to transform the wizard, not summon a random beast. And I don't know why the game decided not to do that, because it would be pretty cool to have your wizard suddenly transform into a big old manticore or something like that. But anyway, Bathilda, go this way. Maybe it's a limitation of the engine. You too. Go after this. We will auto-resolve it. And occupy the place. And let's get moving. Ooh, faction destroyed Ironbrow's expedition. And yes, we could have kept them around in order to farm the defeat trait. But I also feel like that's kind of an iffy thing to do. So whatever. You can go into channeling stance and go as far as you can. Do you need to channel? You're more or less okay. I think you'll heal more by... Actually, will you heal more? That's a question. 45 and 2 versus 39 and 2. Okay, now. More heal is better. Yeah. And we want to get you Children of the Night and Unliving Host, I guess. Yeah, keep going for Unliving Host. We need to maximize the strength of those ghouls, otherwise they're a little weak, even though they did debut nicely last episode. Repress Mortals for you, and... minus 11. That's fine. Our public order is really good, so you can... It'll fix itself rather quickly, I'd wager. Anyway, I believe that's all we gotta do non-building-wise, so let's check out what we've got going on here. Probably not going to build anything at Kotar. Ooh, we should probably upgrade Kofar Harbor as fast as possible because we want the special building there. So let's do that. And otherwise, I believe we are good to end the turn and proceed to looking for some fights. Does this place need to collect income? It's at 0 right now, and until we build up the crumbling hamlet, it won't change, so that's fine. Alrighty, now we're good. Unsigned skill points ignored. Let's end that. Nope, you know what? Let's do one more thing. Blood Dragon. The first level of which will give us the Headhunter ability, melee defense minus 10 for enemy lords nearby, and a Necrarch, which will give us miscast base chance reduction. And the reason that I wanted to do that right now was because I want to start getting these units or new armies on the field ASAP. I want a Ghost Army led by the Necrarch to head for the Bloody Hands because they have all that physical resistance of theirs, and I want a sort of Imperial Tactics army led by a Blood Dragon, because it'll take a while before we get a proper Blood Dragon army. Anyway, turn is ending, and while the turn is ending, yes, we did reach the engagement threshold once more, so we will be doing the hour-long-ish episode this time around, and the engagement threshold remains 400 likes and 60 comments. The next episode will be an hour long as well. Hugrim Red Axe. Peace treaty. No, not unless you give us way more money than that. Not worth our time, sir. Sword of Cain claimed, Clan Angrand and Zufbar Confederation, sure. Manny. Keep channeling and then head towards Karagorud, while you two, I guess, continue channeling. Ooh, will you be able to reach Granite Massive? It looks like you'll just be able to reach it, so yes. Go, and both of you together. Also, I would like to see... what do we have here? Malevolent, Corpse Stitcher, and Deranged. Okay, so nothing great, unfortunately. Gotta keep an eye on those guys. And since these guys can't fight, let's do a little bit of tech thievery. 35, 45, what about Sentry Glades? 39 and 6, but if we... wait. I should probably move this guy. Well, give it a try, just try not to die. Critical oh, of course. I shouldn't have said anything. Why do I do this? You tried. Oh, I shouldn't have done that with you either. Well, you failed, but you didn't die. At least there's that. Alright, well, there's more where that came from. Necromancers are our little pets, and, well, we'll get more. You, Brain Collector, go find Silostra for us, please. We also want to keep an eye on Count Inoculus, because we'd like to get him to be our pet vassal as well. Speaking of... Minus 39, it's not gonna fly, I assume. That's close, but not yet. We'll get there. Wilmar of the Thousand Wings, you... What do we do with you? I guess we're gonna set you to channeling and start moving. Is this attrition-y territory? It is not. You know what, let's have both of you move towards Galbaraz. Probably should occupy it anyway. And yeah, that'll open up another front potentially, but these guys need something to do, so why not? Copyright infringement, let's move you. Grave Rob, okay, nobody better critically fail like the other guy did. Hey, somebody succeeded, well done, Grave Robber. And I think that was it. 2 wounded at this point. Oh well, they'll be back in time. I believe that's all, right? Right? Just building? Alright, let's do building. Anywhere we got gibbets or any other money-generating things. Let's upgrade the gibbet of Zandri. I'd like to upgrade that Murky Harbor, but I don't know if we can afford it right now. Let's figure that out. Black Pyramid of Nagash. We're Black Pyramid of Mannfred, I should say. I get executed for that. Let's go for the Spirit Well. And at least get Banshees on the field. You guys have been prompting me to start farming Blood Kisses with Assassination, and I do prefer to use the Necros for tech thievery, so we will build a Banshee for assassination purposes. Corrupted Village is upgradable unless we have there's a gibbet available here, and that gets priority. 1 turn and immediate money generation. And I guess we can upgrade Stormhenge as well. Crumbling Hamlet. How's the public order here? Yeah, it's gonna fix itself, it's fine. Looks good to me. Skip, and assuming that there's no diplomacy to do... Oh, Dreadfleet wants a non-aggression pact. Yeah, sure for now. We can't combine non-aggression with with anything else anyway. Or at the very least, we can't combine it with vassalage, which is what we really want. Spinosotic Dwarves want peace now, 937. Nah. Not until you're willing to give us a lot more for that. And I would actually really like you guys to start fighting the Bordello Errant so that they don't come for us. Minus 0.07. But there's nothing else they want. Oh, and, you can't threaten your allies and your vassals into it. That's kind of interesting. I wonder why that's not an option anymore. Odd, but anyway. I feel like you should be able to threaten your vassals. Also, looks like we have a battle ready for us at Karagarud potentially, so we'll be hitting that this turn with Manny. Also, if we maintain the engagement threshold streak until, let's say, Saturday, I'll do another dual episode day on Saturday as well, because obviously it'll be easier to watch, and still want people to have a chance to catch up and all that. Anyway, King Kharis and Karagarud. I'm going to assume you guys are willing to fight, so let's do it. Come on, don't run. He will not run. Beautiful. And, that's a lot of artillery, which may be somewhat concerning. I'm going to be quick saving the battles, pre-battle this episode, because I've added a new mod, and if the mod causes crashes, then I don't want to lose the entire episode. I like to keep my mod list lean for that particular reason, but, well, let's hope that it's not an issue here. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Of course, the enemy is not as numerous as they were when we fought High Queen Khalida with her 3-ish stacks, but 2 stacks is still pretty solid. And they have 3 Tomb Scorpions and 5 Screaming Skull Catapults between them, which have already hit and damaged the Holenwachter here. And, well, only knocked out one of the units so far, so we'll hopefully heal him right back up. Anyway, Manny is going to go ahead and start annoying the enemy army, as he likes to do. Hit the enemy lord of the Spirit Leech, summon a unit of zombies on one of the Screaming Skull catapults, and start attacking the other. Of course, this puts Manny in a fairly vulnerable position. He'll get hit with those shotgun blasts from the enemy Sepulchral Stalkers and focused down a little bit by the enemy Skeleton Archers as well, dropping him down close to half of his HP. Now, in terms of deployment, we've done something slightly different from usual. We've actually separated ourselves into two distinct blobs, each around one of our Corpse Cart Necromancers, who are buffing everybody up around them with their Vigor Mortis and their Unholy Lodestone. Now, well, technically you're a Balefire for now, but eventually Unholy Lodestone. Anyway, in addition to that, over on the left flank, we've got the two units of Black Knights with sword and board, but they are being chased around by the Tomb Scorpions, so they can't engage. Fortunately, on the right flank, the Lancers and the Verix Reavers are able to. Even though there is a unit of Ushabti defending, the Greatswords should be able to deal with them, while the Lances take care of the enemy's skeleton horses as well as the skeleton chariots, especially surrounded as they are. Alright, down they go, and the rest of our army is on the approach here, and Manny's still in the center of everything, summoning zombies and spamming Spirit Leech, and it does look like Kevin von Lloydstein has found the enemy lord as well. And between the Spirit Leech and the ministrations of our White King, the enemy lord should fall rather quickly. It looks like our crossbows with their anti-large have also found the enemy Sepulchral Stalkers, which are dropping like flies. The enemy lord is just about done for as well. A couple more hits from, well, really anybody. Looks like some of the maces might bring him down. Couldn't quite tell who got the last hit, but I suppose it doesn't matter, because down he goes either way. Manny is good now. The Black Knights are moving around and making sure that no more of those units of Screaming Skull catapults fire, and it looks like the main sort of formation of the enemy is now surrounded. Black Knights hit him in the back against the anvil of the Grave Guard. Nice to see a little bit of work from the Great Swords as well, since they're usually sort of out on the flanks with the Halberdiers, while the Halberdiers are often protecting the range units. Anyway, very, very nice. Love our big old blob of Black Knights. The nice thing, or one of the nice things about them, is that they're, by virtue of being a relatively low tier cav at tier 2, they are quite numerous, which is lovely. Because there's, what, 20 Blood Knights in a blob in SFO? I don't remember, but it's not a crazy amount. Anyway, Manny has found himself a Tomb Scorpion. Also, I love the lighting in this particular map. Everything's being nice and visible for us today. Anyway, Manny's gonna hit that Tomb Scorpion, and will prevent it from jumping into and disrupting the formation of our Grave Guard. And between Spirit Leech and the Zombie Dragon, he should have no problem in destroying the one. The other has moved forward into our formation, but fortunately does get brought down by the Halberds and by the White King reasonably quick as well. The enemy's second force has arrived, and it looks like it will the units of Nehekaran horses will charge our relatively unprotected Sylvanian crossbows in the back. Manny's going to respond by summoning a unit of zombies in the midst of those units of horsemen, while the unit of halberds that was protecting the units of Sylvanian crossbows, that's it, will move to intercept another unit, while Manny moves to intercept yet another one of those Tomb Scorpions. Gotta prevent them from moving into our halberds, though I suppose once again we saw the halberds take care of one already, so I'm sure they could take care of another should they need to do so. Alright, looks like the horses are proving no real challenge to the grave importance here, even without the Vigor Mortis from not being near a corpse cart. Out over on the very right flank, all of our Black Knights are charging together. The enemy has brought once again a fairly decent number of range units. Our Sword and Borders will head towards the Screaming Skull catapult, so it looks like we'll take a few volleys as the Verix Reavers stop for some reason before wheeling around and separating to hit the various skeleton archers. There we go, run them down, lance them apart, do what you need, and silence all the range that the enemy has brought. Looks like Manny has brought the next Tomb Scorpion down as well. And down it goes, and by the looks of it, the battle is nearly ours, with the balance of power having shifted about 80% in our favor, and probably shortly 85%. Eric's Reavers fighting a unit of Tomb Guard Halberds a little bit. Gonna be a little bit careful here, but the Varix Reavers have done great work in the past, and by the looks of it are doing great work here as well. 120 kills to their name. And I mean, they're fighting the Graveguard Tomb Guard with halberds, so something that's supposed to be specifically against them. And are doing pretty okay at it. Taking quite the while to bring these guys down, especially with a little bit of healing. There we go. And the crossbows helping out as well. Anyway, by the looks of it, with that, the enemy army will shatter and the battle is ours. Just a matter of time until the last of the enemies melt away. There is a Tomb Prince on foot still out here and heading towards us. And just to add insult to injury, we're gonna send him flying with Varric the Blade here. And he's crumbling away, so, and like usual, this would give him invincibility frames, but now it's just forcing him to not be able to attack anyone and continue to take damage. He does manage to get a Curse of Juff out on the other units of horses, but it looks like they will charge him and he will drop one last time, and not having had the ability to hit anybody. Alrighty, there we go. Last of the enemy units, a unit of Nehikara warriors fighting to the last here, surrounded by zombies and Graveguard, goes down, and the heroic victory is ours. Ooh, Dragon's doing a little bit of a pose here as well. Alrighty, there we go. A really fun fight, dispersed all over the battlefield. Lots of rock, paper, scissoring going on. Manny hunting down two Tomb Scorpions before hitting the enemy. The enemy Lord. The Black Knight's doing fantastic work in the back lines, and it looks like they're all maxed out in terms of their veterancy now as well. And great work from the Sylvanian crossbows, who I continue to be impressed with. Didn't remember them being this useful, but that anti-large bonus that they get has made them pretty considerably more powerful. And by the looks of it, in this particular battle, the two halberdiers, grave importance in Mannfred's glory, outdid most of the other units in terms of damage, or most of the other Graveguard, with the exception of the Macabre Dancers. Very nice. We're going to return the captives for the cash, because we need as much cash as we can get. Got another carrion, which is good, because we need those in all of our armies. Occupy Karagorod. Beautiful. We don't need the Sinister Cops, and we certainly don't need the Barrow. And, ooh, I want to see something. Did the acquisition... 7. Wait.
I always can when you're kind.
-1. How much is it going to cost? 1.6k? Yeah, we'll do it. We'll declare war on all the elves, and Noctilus, you're going to be our vassal. If you're wondering why I did that, it's because, despite not actually having a trade good, the game seems to think that as soon as you acquire a location that has a trade good, even if you don't build the building, it assumes that you will get it, and therefore allows you to, gives other factions an incentive to trade with you, which is why I immediately wanted to see whether a Noctilus, who we were waiting on to vassalize, would be willing to do that, and he was, which is lovely. Speaking of Noctilus, he's currently not at war with anybody. I guess we could keep him warring with the High Elves. Just hope he doesn't get wiped out. Join war against Etain. -15. Ooh, he doesn't want to do that. One big issue with vassals and doing it this way is that. But if we peace out with them and then redeclare war on them, it'll still work out nicely. Let's also immediately construct the outpost there, since we're going to be getting good use out of all those outpost units. You have completed your Scorpion thing. And we can't quite get 2 more, and ooh, also... Damn, I wonder if we had... yeah, probably could have gotten some, allegiance from all that. King and Dejena, let's go for you. The Awakened, yes, and the Cult of Sigmar. Okay, well, we don't really care about the Cult of Sigmar, so we're just gonna... well, we should probably still do the mission. We are going to betray them too, but, you know. Let's do King Sakara with you. Alright. You two. I assume that you can, in fact, reach the Granite Massif, so that's where you're gonna head. Both of you together. Like so. Close defeat, we'll see about that when it's not just Bathilda, but the ghouls bring up the rear as well. Like so. And we could power them up a teensy bit more by giving them a little bit more in the way of redline buffs. So, the Unliving Host for you. And there we go, and Peter Barrickmere, you can have... I guess we want to max out Invocation of Nehek first. And Bathilda, you're going to max out Children of the Night just because those black coaches are so stupidly expensive. Auto-resolve working now? Yeah, decisive victory, low casualties. Obviously, that's not worth fighting. And that actually did significant damage to us. Huh, it looks like the auto-resolve doesn't like those Feral Strigoi. Gotta watch out for that. Occupy. Dragon Helm, ally mission successful. There we go. Now, Kadon. I assume you can get 2 more Scorpos? Yes, indeed you can. Beautiful. Scorpions and zombies. I like it. We'll probably make a second... Well, let's get rid of the zombies for now. I might actually replace them. Is that too few zombies now? Maybe get rid of the corpse carts with balefire. We do technically probably will want more corpse carts, but we'll have a couple of necros in here to replace them anyway. Let's get rid of the 2 corpse carts with balefire. I do like the magical damage that they do, but, you know. You are going to get 2 more of these Tomb Scorpions. Balefire and corpse cart. I just wanted to see if there was an unholy lodestone. Then, let's take a quick look at the lords. Not these lords, because they're a little bit expensive, but we'll get there eventually. Mortis Shepherd. Ooh, that's lovely. Okay, we'll keep an eye on the Master Necros for another Master Necro that gives us the trait. None of these are good. The trait that buffs up zombies, because I'd like the 2 Necromancers, possibly another 3 Necromancers if we could pull it off later, to work together. Anyway, you're going to be stuck here for 2 more turns, which means I think we can freely send Mr. Wilmar here to reach... Looks like he... You know what? I don't want to risk it. Let's just... Ow. Go back into channeling. I think you can reach Granty Mingo in 1 turn. We'll occupy that and then we'll hit Galbaraz right after. I just want to delay very slightly, as much as we can, the war against Gorbad, because who knows? We got a lot of stuff going on, and elves and Bretonnians might sail down and attack us. I wouldn't put it past either one. And, ooh, 56, damn, you have a very high chance of dying if you try this, and I don't like that at all. You know what? Move over here and maybe try Statues of the Gods. I don't know if you can reach it in 1 turn. It looks like you can. 39, it's a little bit better. We really need that success chance increase for the Tech Thief Necros. And that's why we gotta keep thieving that tech. Please don't die. Success, good, good. Grave Robber. What about you? Failure for copyright infringement? Come on, man, come on. Alright, and Manny will level you up eventually. I don't want to deal with it right now. Alright, money to be spent. A gibbet or gallows has to be the priority. Cracked land. Let's go for pottery. Can upgrade any of these, including the port, which we probably will do if we have cash remaining. Which we'll have to say. Exotic Animal Pen, we should upgrade you to tier 2 because it's reasonable in terms of expense. Aha! Gibbet here. Not Charnel Pit, but Gibbet. And Zombie Infested Mine. Or upgrade Death Gorge to tier 2. Let's start with Death Gorge to tier 2. And there goes all of our cash. But what can you do? Ooh! Dissenter Lords of Jin Shen. Yes, I did want to vassalize all the Cathans. We can use some of their units as well. War drums, please. I assume war drums will work on undead, because if they do, it'll be a valuable faction. Huh. Clan Moors kind of like us, but they do condemn also a bunch of stuff. They condemn us killing Scarbrand. But we're probably not going to ally with them, because we need Carrick 8 Peaks, and I'm fairly sure that they've occupied it. It's got a book there. And there's another book at Lamia. Our book gathering efforts are going reasonably well. What does the Lamian book give us? Experience gain for Necros, Winds of Magic. Nice. What is the... Alright, the casualty replenishment rate after sacking and occupying. Huh. Plus 10. Is it me or was this plus 20 last time we checked? Last episode. Seems to have possibly been modified. But what can you do? Ooh, hero capacity for all heroes out of Skaven Blight. That's something we want to get. I mean, obviously we want to get them all. Ooh, ward save for Graveguard and Black Knights. Replenishes 20% campaign movement range after defeating a Lord faction leader's army. Yes. Jean de Bain. Alright, well, we'll go after you. When we can. Anyway, that's the turn. So we'll skip the rest of that on the turn, and actually we hit a little bit of money remaining, but whatever. Not so much. Ooh, I do see Krogar nearby as well. And we were looking to head towards him. And get his very lovely defeat trait. Let's see if these guys stay at Machrach or attempt to back off rather than get attacked by Bathilda and Wilhelm. Did their turn go by? They did. Alright, so that's another battle for these two. Beautiful. Ally begins outpost construction, technology researched. Oh, that's the self-defense chance. Not quite what I was looking for. Gregor von Drek has got his corpse guard with an holy lodestone. And you are who? Oh, you're one of Mannfred's pets. Alright. Nightmare for Peter Berkmere. And I do want to keep an eye on Necros here. Ah, another Witherer. Beautiful. Alright, that's the second Necro that is going into our Ghoul army. Now starting at level 7 because of the upgraded... There we go. Upgraded Lich Shards that we have. Bathilda and Wilhelm, you're gonna work together. Oh, they didn't back off because you're still damaged from attacking the place, eh? Fair enough. Probably to get Vanguard deployment up and running, we will want to have you, Wilhelm, attack first. Yeah, let's do it. And Bathilda will reinforce. We could also force the entire enemy blob to reinforce by attacking this guy, but I don't think it's needed. Alright, and you will reinforce while in Necromantic Ritual. Damaged though you both are. Just want to double check here. Take the Unholy Lodestone. Lovely. To be replaced, but we don't have Necros in here as yet, so until we do, gotta deal with it. Anything else we want? Manny, you can move pretty far, but you need to channel. We need to spend every turn channeling because he's lost more than half of his mana, even though I'd like him to move further. But if these guys knock this out, they should probably be able to take Lamia. Ooh, wow, that's actually solid defenses. I guess it's a special location as well, which probably means it'll be a bugged battle. But we had a nice non-bugged siege last time, so we're good, at least for now. Anyway, looks like these guys are hanging around. You're still building those Scorpos. You're gonna hit Grand Team Mingol and occupy it for us. Yeah, looks like I guess Clan Worms is there, go figure. Alright, well I guess we're not going to do this yet. We will do it, but not yet. Although they do hate us because we've... wait, how many territories do you guys have? 5. Oh wow, more than I thought. I mean, we could bypass Galbaraz and in fact attack these rats. They do have a... they just jumped to Sunken Kernark. And we can't keep these guys separated until they get better stuff. I'll think about it. We might have to wait a little bit. Anyway, Statutory Lich Sense. It's back up to 55-45. Okay, fine. We'll go for the Sentry Glades then.
This way.
See if you succeed.
It will be.
Hey, there you go. And we go for the Midnight Aristocracy. We do want all of the diplomatic relations with Empire Counts and Coast, but, you know what? We're gonna skip it for now, and we'll go to Vampiric Superiority first. We gotta get that hero success chance. It's too valuable to steal more tech. Alright. Gotta use tech to steal more tech. Oh! I saw that the Kislevites are still alive. That's a bit of a surprise. Pleasant surprise, mind you, but a surprise. Usually they get wiped out by Morathi fairly quick. And double success, you don't need that corpse card because it's like an extra bunch of gold. Like so, and you reached rank 10, though that does nothing for you, and you're gonna steal tech increase. Lovely. Alright, I believe that's all we gotta do. Let's do building, and then... well, actually, you know what? Let's strike first, and then do building. Because we'll get more money, after all. You, sir. Max out raise dead, I guess. And then you, Bathilda. You have the hunger... I'd like to get seduction, but we're still going to max out Children of the Night first, and then other stuff afterwards. Do you really want to reduce the vigor by being in vampiric channeling? You're not really casting, but I guess the necromancer is. And it is for all spellcasters. Yeah, fine. We'll attack like this. Alright, Pyrrhic victory, that's what I like to see. We're going to quick save again, because I still don't trust any new mods, but who knows, go. Alright, here we go. The ghouls are back in town and ready to have fun once more. I think this will be a pretty darn great fight as the enemy's got some big old stacks and we're going to have to work for the victory by the looks of it. Lots and lots of fast movers available to the enemy as well. The Nehekara horses and skeleton chariots in high numbers on both flanks, like 12 of those units. So I don't think we have enough units of our own to intercept those guys, so we will need to be careful. Now we have Vanguard deployed behind the enemy army, but unfortunately the rampage on the Feral Strigoi does activate itself as soon as they're on field because they're still damaged. I wish that wasn't the case, and I've said this, I don't know, it feels like years ago now, that rampage shouldn't activate at the start of the battle without having taken any damage, because it kind of doesn't make sense, but well, whatever. At the end of the day, it looks like we're okay, and our ghouls just stop short of running into the army and destroying themselves. We gotta wait for Bathilda to arrive on field after all. And oh, looks like some of the enemy's skeleton horse archers are annoying our army. Specifically, they were going after the necromancer, so good job to the AI for picking the appropriate target. We'll give chase to the skeleton horse archers with Wilhelm von Sinclair, our Strigoi. It does look like they do a little bit of damage and then back off. Yeah, too bad we don't have Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma on Bathilda, as we can't slow these guys down. By the looks of it, we can't catch them, so we'll have to back off, and we'll probably take a few more arrows to the back while we do. Anyway, I'm going to speed this up while we wait for the rest of our army to arrive and for our units to start working together. You gotta remember, our ghouls are Vanguard deployed behind the enemy formation, so they will only hit the enemy once we're ready. And there we go, ready we are by the looks of it, and since we have no other way to stop the fast movers, and the chariots and skeleton horses will probably be of insignificant threat level to the black coaches, we're going to use the black coaches to a degree to slow them down, bog them down, and prevent them from attacking our main line. Our Strigoi will go for the enemy lord and try to get a nice duel going. He will, however, get hit in the back repeatedly by the enemy Ushabti with Great Bone. We're going to have to deal with them. Fortunately, our ghouls are now ready to go. Two of them will peel away to go for the Screaming Skull Catapult, while the rest of them get ready to hit the entirety of the enemy force in the back. And it does look like we have several separate little engagements going out here. The fast movers, together with some Ushabti, have struck at the skeleton spears as well as the crypt horrors, but they are supported by a necromancer and corpse cart. And then we have a similar sort of situation going on in the center. Oh, and it looks like the Ushabti with Great Bow have been caught, crushed between the Strigoi Vampire and the Feral Strigoi. And at the very least, we can stop them from firing those darn Great Bows of theirs. And we can speed the matter up by charging in with the ghouls, and now have 3 poison types on them: Toxic Venom, Lethal Poison, and Poison. Very nice. Or while the rest of the ghouls move on in. Yeah, like these sort of lots of mini skirmishes going on as the army has separated. Alright, skeleton versus skeleton action. This is the only army that we currently have that has numbers of skeleton warriors. Obviously they're not staying in here because we don't really need them, and this is going to be a highly mobile army, Bathilda's I mean. But for now, they're serving their purpose, providing that little extra bit of anti-large and a little extra bit of fightiness as needed. Balance of power is very slightly in our favor at about 55-55, but I think the battle can still go in anybody's favor. Bathilda, our Alamian battle junkie, is looking for duels here and has gone after the enemy Tomb King. And by the looks of it, said Tomb King is having a pretty bad time, having dropped to about 40% of his HP. Alright, our black coaches are still doing great work here. They're not doing much damage, I'd wager. Just a tiny bit, because this is not what they're for, but they're stopping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of fast movers, and just by their presence there, so it's very much worth it. And by virtue of them being together, instead of cycle charging like they normally would, they are able to all be healed up, all 4, and with a single invocation of the heck, which is nice as well. Anyway, as usual, as we've taught or seen against the Tomb Kings before, the Vampire Counts are able to simply outlast them due to the supporting presence of the Corpse Carts, as the Tomb Kings don't have anything similar to their names, and Realm of Souls is just plain inferior. Though it is better in SFO with its sort of repeated activations. SFO really does feel so much different than vanilla. I mean, all of these battles, they're going on for so long. We're having these long brawls and sort of more tactical fights than we normally would in vanilla, which I'm absolutely loving. It's always a heck of a time waiting for SFO to come back. Anyway, looks like the bounce power's at about 90, 95 even maybe percent in our favor. Last of the enemy lords and heroes are falling. Enemy Tomb Prince barely holding on with one arm until he goes down. I believe Bathilda has defeated the enemy lord as well and is now fighting some Tomb Guard. Our units of black coaches have at last cleared the enemy, well, mostly cleared their way out of, let's say, most of the enemy fast movers, and the ghouls have arrived to hit said fast movers as well. Also, you gotta love this lighting. It really works really well with the dunes and the types of units all fighting here. Everything's nice and visible and bright. Beautiful battle. And a very fun battle as well. And it looks like every single one of these little smaller skirmishes goes in our favor. The balance of power shifts to 100%, and it's now just a matter of time until the enemies melt away. Oh, and I forgot to point out, we got a little bit of use out of the border mercenaries as well. 12,000 damage and 14,000 damage. So these guys were just sort of hanging back and doing a little bit of sniping of the enemy chariots whenever they charge them. Since skeletal chariots are very, very fragile, the border mercenaries were able to, even with their low missile strength, obliterate them. Though these guys are fairly decent because they do have armor-piercing missile damage. And fairly decent melee stats as well, 65, 36, 36, so they can certainly hold their own in melee if needed. Anyways, there's something still fighting. Why hasn't the battle ended? Oh, one of the enemy fast movers. Fair enough. And I guess the black coaches will finish them off. And there we are, another heroic victory and a very fun... Oh, did these guys just like clothesline this skeleton horse? Very nice. Or a skeleton horseman, whatever. All right, another really, really great battle. Man, this campaign it's certainly delivering in terms of quality battles, you gotta admit. And it always seems, well, I know that it always does seem like we come out of it with relatively minimal losses, but it's always an illusion. It's just the way the vampire counts work, since we can regenerate most of our troops, and when not fighting undead, we can do so post-battle. Anyway, a relic sword, which is a good find, not because we want the relic sword, but because we want to take it, and we want to... Oh, that was a Tormentor sword. Darn. I wanted to transfer that to somebody else. Although, speaking of the Tormentor sword, let's give it to you, Bathilda, at least for now. I really need to find some weapons. We got no blue weapons, we got no green weapons, and nothing. Other Trickster Shards are probably going to have to go to Heroes for sport. Ally mission successful, not that we cared about that one. And Devil's Backbone secured, and ooh, hello, okay. Doesn't look like too much raise value here. I do want to see two more things. Okay, not that. Where is the Black Pyramid of Mannfred? There we go. Now, we have these guys available. Wailing Spectre, leadership for enemy lords, passive ability, damage reflection, but it's only 5, which is not anything crazy. Ooh, hello, campaign movement range plus 75 with not embedded ghost lights. That's nice. That's real nice. Alright, so you are going to be an assassin. I'm going to just name her Assassin for now, if you guys can come up with some nice thematic assassin names. And we'll be using these guys to farm those blood kisses, as otherwise you guys are going to keep yelling at me in the comments. Once again, I do prefer to use the necros for stealing tech rather than wounding jerks, but that's what we can use these ladies for. Spiteful. Tomb Scream, cooldown reduction, a breath ability. You know what? I kind of like that. Spiteful. We'll get to you as a actual hero to follow an army. And, speaking of armies, let us see. Alright, I think... Necrar, Gustav Grigorovich. On field. What do we have in terms of raise capability? Alright, so we can raise 2 Karen Wraiths and we can build some Spirit Hosts. We are not going to be able to max out the army like this because it would be too expensive right now, but we can sort of do half ghosts, half zombies for now, and then obviously deal with it after. You also can lose yours. Master Necro, Mortis Shepherd. I guess we'll get you on field for now. Or another, well, no, the others are too expensive. Alright. I'm going to say the Mortis Shepherd, although we're not going to have so many of these guys in a single army making... I mean, although the character experience game... You know what we could do? Mortis Shepherd, on field, you're going to be a recruiter. We needed one anyway. And I mean, and by recruiter, a raiser of the dead. That's mostly what I mean. And also you need the ancillary that allows you to do so, which is the Gravedigger. Technically, I guess we need another one for Gustav Grigorovich here. And speaking of Gustav Grigorovich, we want you to get Wraith Touched, which is upkeep reduction for Spirit Hosts, Karen Wraiths, Mournguls, and Hex Wraiths. Too bad not Sirens. Huh. You get 10 ward save for zombies, Necrarchs? Interesting. These guys could be solid zombie lords as well. Solid skeleton lords, and you also have Blackheart as well, so you have the... yeah. See, these guys buff 4 different types of units, whereas Lamians only buff 2. We need to transfer... although, on the other hand, Mortis Engines do work really nicely with the ghosties, just the fact that they're not actually ethereal, even if they do look it. So, anyway, yeah, you're going to get Wraith Touched, for obvious reasons. And I guess next turn we'll raise some dead here once we can get out of the, once we can get into the necromantic ritual stance. And we can immediately put the first Banshee in your army as well. Lovely. We'll still probably need some Necros in the army because they provide support, although they won't be able to Vanguard deploy and they won't be as fast as the ghostly units. It'll still be Mortis Engines like the Ghoul army. Anyway, I believe that's all the moves we need to make. Just building remaining. So... Stormhenge, definitely start with that 500 cheap gibbet. You, Karagarud, yes to the Obsidian Quarry and gibbet. You, Charnel Pit, gibbet, and you, gibbet. Lovely. Barrier Idols, let's max out that well, max out level 2 tier. Mine, yes, Kofur, you want that Eastern Bazaar, and we unfortunately cannot afford the Kofur Harbor, but we'll do so as soon as we get the cash. And I guess you're going to give it as well. Alright, Cracked Land, you are... oh, we can't afford anything there, and we'll do blood taxes here, but we can't afford them here either, at least not yet. Alright, rest of that looks good to me. We have no additional capacities other than Necros, but we need the appropriate unit or trait types before we make good use of them. Alright, that sounds like an intern to me, unless there's diplomacy to be doing. Disciples of the Maw want to trade. Do we want to ally with them? I don't think so, because we want to vassal... ooh, wait, a moment. They're at war with the EU now, eh? How's that vassalage? Minus 71. Okay, you need to actually lose some units. If you don't serve Mannfred, he's gonna kill you. So, yeah. Best be wary of that. Alright, well, I guess that's it then. Ooh, wait. Vassalage? No dice. We need some vision into Cathay. Hopefully we can get some of the caravans moving by so that we can, you know, get something out of them. Anyway, skip building upgrade and turn. Alright, only a matter of time before just millions of elves start sailing towards us. Maybe trying to wipe out the undead threat before it spreads to the entire world. We'll probably have to set up an army or a lord or two to counteract them. Body Snatcher's back, Nemesis Crown claimed for Reichland, but not to worry, that's got Manny's name on it. Alright, next up, ally missions, King Fokdem. I should probably not have said his name. YouTube, please. Same king, and Cult of Sigmar, I guess we'll do it as well, even though once again we'll look into betray ya. I would also like to see... Okay, the Awakens at 92. We want those zombie powered gunnery mobs we could... Oh, why are the sirens so incredibly expensive? Carronades and stuff, good. Dreadfleet, we are still working on building. Okay. You cannot reach Gelbaraz, but you can do so next turn while channeling. Now you have your... Oh, right. Lose the 2 ghosties. We're going to transfer them. Recruiter, take the 2 ghosties. Thank you. Just because they have a little bit of veterancy. And I wonder if it's cheaper to raise one than to recruit it. I guess we'll also want to raise a corpse card. Oh, damn. Okay, we'll do so next turn. Because you're not in the right... Well, actually, Kadon can do it for you. Because he's in the right thing and he does have Kitabel. Let's see. Cheap Spirit Host. And get the Unholy Lodestone. I think that's it, right? For this army? I think so. Yeah. Alright, recruit. Although, you know what? Okay. Do this. And take the Unholy Lodestone. And the ghosties, the new ghosties. Should we give the... You know what? Maybe we should give the Konigstein Stalkers to the other guy as well. They're not ghosts, but they look like ghosts, and for a while he's gonna have ghouls. We'll probably make a skeleton-heavy army at some point as well, just, you know, for variety. Gotta do a little bit of everything, so... Yeah. You get Graveguard. And I believe that's it. Alright. Graveguard are for a different army. And then, I guess you're going to raise zombies to take the places. You know what, I might have jumped the gun in deleting all the balefire because it powers up the zombies a little bit. Let's get one back. After all, we don't have necros in this army as yet. And then the rest will be zombies. Now, the Tomb Scorpions together with the zombies should be sufficient to do damage. Then you're going to go into channeling stance, assuming we don't want more Tomb Scorpions, but we'll hold off. I do like the theme zombies and Scorps, though. And go channeling. Go this way. And we'll see whether we attack this guy. You, Recruiter, are going to start marching southward, like so. Then you, we'd like to raise those dead immediately. Ooh, and let's get Rosalind Jaeger in here. Increase mobility. Ooh, Banshees have increased mobility. That's useful. Now, where can we assassinate enemy characters? We need to actually find a place where there's a sufficient number of them to make good use of you. These guys... Okay, you have a couple of characters. The Wood Elves do too. If we want to annoy them. Okay, you're also supposed to join these guys. Huh? These guys might. Crocky might. Alright, I guess we're going this way. It's kind of far. But there's nowhere else that we can go anyway. Tick-tock. Tic-tac-toe, rather. He is a lot closer. I'm gonna risk it and just hope that we can assassinate some characters there. Alright, and then Gustav Grigorovich, you will be raising dead. So, go here, go into Necromantic Ritual. I'm gonna temporarily give you the Kitabella Z from... Hey, you know what? Take it from Bathilda, she doesn't really need it right now. And these guys are still expensive, but it is what it is. Did I... Oh, we also need to give you the Grave Digger. And there's one on Kadon, there's one on Manny, there's one on Bathilda, one on Wilhelm. Wait. Oh, there is a Wilhelm and a Wilmar. Oh, well, that sort of undoes my confusion a bit. Take it from the Gravedigger for now. Actually, you know what? Probably should have taken it from Wilhelm, because his ghoul army is mostly complete, but anyway, that's a little better. Raise 2 Cairn Wraiths and raise 1 Spirit Host. It's cheaper than recruiting them after all, and get yourself another Unholy Lodestone. That looks good. Alright, now how much money does it cost to build? Are the Spellbreakers ethereal out of curiosity? You know what, this... Ooh, that's another army. The Spellbreakers aren't going to be in this one, but we will recruit them here. They can work with the Konigstein Stalkers because it looks like they're non-ethereal skeletal units. Yes, that's another army. I like it. Then, despite the just insane expense... Okay, so the way that you can reduce the costs of those is to have wars close by. We could declare war on the Cult of Sotek, which might significantly reduce that. But it'll put Luther Harkin in a dangerous position. But assuming he won't declare war on the Bordello Errant, which he won't, unless we pay him 5,000 money, may be the best way to do it. Also, wait, just out of curiosity, how much money are the... Hello. Spinosotek dwarfs. 3,000 gold? That's good, yes. Peace out with those guys. And I guess... I just have a very strong feeling that they're going to sail here, but I guess since this place has the battle marker, we can still defend it. Declare war, and we're going to hope Luther Harkin survives. Oh, he's going to draw Itza into it. That might be a little much. Assuming, yeah, Gorok is hanging around, and he is at war with the Thousand Moslem Clan Spittle. Oh, it looks like they wiped out Pestilence. Yeah, the problem there is that... Luther Harkin will get overrun. We'll need to send an army to help him. And I don't think we can do so right now. Maybe these guys won't join the war, but who knows? You know what? Well, we'll risk it. What's the likelihood that the Awakening falls? Low, right? Right? Is this a terrible idea? Well, you know what? If Luther Harkin dies, then he didn't deserve to serve. He didn't deserve to serve Mannfred. Let's see what he can do. Declare war. There we go. Alright, so now elves and lizards alike are decently likely to attack us. Oh! Itza joined war against us, but it didn't join war against Luther Harkin. You know what? That's fine. That's fine. If they sail towards us, at least they won't be helping out against those guys. Works for me. Alright, what else do we have? Manny, you're moving again, buddy? And... ooh. Well, I won't say that's not tempting. Is this declaring too many wars at once? I don't know. Maybe. But I also just can't stop myself, or help myself. You guys can't reach Lamia from this, so you are going to go into Vampire Channeling. Go here. And you, can you raise it? Oh, right, we don't have any more capacity for Black Coaches, but you can keep channeling. Right here. And the problem will be that these guys have armies here, which means they could potentially move towards Antok or Bagar, but we can maybe send the ghosties down there first, and the other stuff later. Yeah. And we will raise more spirit hosts. You know what? If you could travel near to other raising locations, you could raise ghosties on the way. Max out the army as you do. I just can't say no to this. It's right beside Manny, so let's move everybody else and then we'll fight. You know what? I've been talking a while. Let's do another fight. We had such great fights this episode. Let's continue in that light. You, Manny, you have Dread Knights. Let's get you Legions of the Dead, which will give further buffs to your everything but Knights, I guess. This buffs Flyers, which we won't have in this army, and looks like Dread Knights buffs Mortis Engines, so we will have the Claw of Nagash. Ooh, and the Chillgeists are going to be up and running relatively shortly. We need level 26. And the Devils of Schwarzhofen. Ooh, once we have more Vargeists, the flying army can work on its own. Anyway, levels and then go. Completely necessarily. You should probably move towards Arcane Conduit, so let's get you Curse of Yerzan, Wind of Death, so that you have access to both. You... I mean, we've gone through Organized, maybe we go through Onslaught. I'd like to get Potent for the additional magic power reserve, and just to keep it topped up. Let's do... Miscast Base Chance is nice, let's do Onslaught. I mean, I guess we'll try to max out as much of this as we can, but I'm not so sure that these guys have sufficient points to do so. Max out Training, still 5 more levels until Grave Bodyguard, and... You know what? I think Loyalty Neverending might be the better pick here. I assume that change the upkeep of this army, or at least I hope it did. Unnatural Image. Debuff enemy Cav. Alright, looks good to me. Crocky. Sorry, buddy. I do love you, but huh, you are not allied with anybody, you're just trading. Well, well, well. And declare war. And away we go. Probably could have drawn him out, but I suppose it doesn't matter over much. Pyrrhic victory, that's what I like to see. 3 full stacks of lizards. Ooh. Okay, I'm definitely quick saving this as well because of a crash. In fact, this makes me worry that my PC won't be able to handle it, because even when we were fighting the Tomb Kings, 2 on 2 stacks or 2 on 3 stacks, my PC was very angry and very hot. Well, let's go.
I command thee to attend. Bring thy swords. Reap death. Dance a dance macabre. It is time. The dead march.
Alrighty, here we go. Doesn't this look fun? 3 stacks of lizardmen led by Krokgar versus our single army of tier 2 undead. Will it be enough to break through all this? Well, I guess it remains to be seen. It'll be a matter of our healing cap. Will we reach our healing cap and stop having the ability to heal before the enemy runs out of bodies? We shall see. Now, we're gonna go after the single entities first. Manny's gonna go after the Feral Stag, though Manny's low melee defense at the current time, being only 35, means he is very much in danger of getting surrounded and damaged. There is also something hurting our leadership. Even by the corpse carts, our leadership is only at 41, which is really, really low. I think it's lower than Clanrat's leadership, or I don't know, maybe around the Skaven Slave leadership. Look at the Skink cohort here, 112 leadership compared to ours. Now, the bad thing about this, and I'm not entirely sure what's doing this, it could be debuffs from the enemy settlement or a raid, I have no idea, but it is a very significant debuff to us, because obviously once the vampire of the undead units reach low leadership, they start melting away, which is going to make this battle even more dangerous. So, we shall see. We're going to start the battle off with annoying the enemy as best we can with our range fire, though more or less we're saving it for larger units and things like the enemy Pterodon Riders. Looks like Manny has in fact gotten fairly hurt fighting the Feral Stag here, but he's mostly just been keeping the enemy distracted while the rest of our force moves on in. Stearnsman, as well as the Summon Barrow Guardians, lead the way to get that Bone Crusher on them to reduce enemy melee defense as well, which will help the rest of our units dish out damage. And now that the rest of the forces have arrived, Manny can move away and go off and do his own thing. And he does have various things that he should be doing. Alright, out here it does look like the enemy are, by and large, both of their Pterodon Riders and the Skink cohorts are really focusing this Necromancer hard, which does make sense, and the AI does have a tendency to go after support units like this, but it is still a good job to the AI, because this is very, very dangerous for us, and the loss of a Necromancer will probably spell our army's inability to continue. And damn, look at those javelins fly. They're just keeping on doing that. Oh, look at that stat debuff on this Necromancer. Gonna double up on the invocations of Nehek and just to keep him going while we continue fighting both in the center, where a massive pile of Kroxigors has surrounded that Feral Stag, and on the right flank. On the left flank we have one single unit, the Holenwachter units of Graveguard, and defending against a Asaurus Old Blood, or Scarvet rather, led pile of lizards. And okay, one second, I have to move my cat, so I'll be back, but the fight can go on. Alright, sorry about that, just a little bit of good old-fashioned Graveguard versus Saurus infantry action. Nothing much has changed as we gotta brawl our way through a lot of lizards here, though the second Necromancer is also now starting to take damage as the Pterodon Riders hover overhead and dish said damage out. It looks like the enemy Saurus Scarvet has broken through the hole in Wachter and is headed towards the Sylvanian crossbows, which also ain't so great, as we don't really have the sufficient number of units to deal with every threat like this, though we will try to send our White King to deal with him. Manny's busy distracting as many of these skinks back here as he possibly can, because, well, they nearly killed this Necromancer back here. And in fact, already only 3 minutes or 4 minutes into the battle, this Necromancer has reached his healing cap, and those darn Pterodon Riders, and the tower might possibly be, are all trying to focus him down. Still a good old-fashioned fight against the Croxagores. Unfortunately, the Halberdiers have proven themselves very useful throughout this campaign, and I'm sure will continue to do so as we fight the enemy monstrous infantry here. Once again, having some Crypt Horrors would have generally made this army a lot stronger, but, well, I feel like we're keeping it fun, and it makes it feel like a different army composition than the sort of standard combination of Crypt Horrors plus Graveguard or Skeletons. Or whatever. We'll do that with another army, just for comparison's sake. Anyway, good job to Manny, gotten plenty of kills there, though unfortunately he has reached his healing cap as well. Now those Javelineers are not to be underestimated. I remember the Javelin spam bringing down many an elite unit previously when doing Lizardman runs. Anyway, it looks like at least in the center, the day is ours. Look at all those fallen Croxagores, Saurus, and Cold Ones around the Feral Stag, and just a few units of the enemy Saurus remain. This single frickin' unit of Graveguard is still holding the enemy back. 135 kills to their name now, and still no support from any of our corpse carts or anything like that. Flank completely secured by one unit. Fantastic. Otherwise, it looks like the right flank is ours as well, by virtue of only having to commit the one unit to the left flank, who have been holding this choke point this entire time. The rest of our units have been able to move on in. And speaking of units moving on in, we hadn't seen the Knights yet. Why? They started behind the rest of our force and ran the loop like this to now hit the enemy in the back and run over all of these units of skirmishers and Javelineers. Gotta stop those frickin' skinks from firing. And once again, Varric the Blade will lead them into the fray. Just gotta make sure that they don't get isolated and destroyed, because the enemy still vastly outnumbers us, especially now that its reinforcements are making its way on the field. Or I guess there were always 40 units in the enemy settlement. And the reinforcements mean that we have finally killed off some of them. Anyway, nice zombie dragon breath from Manny, though look at all those blow darts and javelins sailing on by. Gotta be careful, because he has reached his healing cap at 75%. And this is why we really want to get Immortal Horror in the blue tree. I really wish Manny wasn't so point hungry, but it is very much looking like we can't do without, because he has been reaching his healing cap a lot. Anyway, time for the Knights to charge on in. We're going to send the pile of Graveguard forward to where the main sort of enemy is concentrated, while we charge right through our own lines with the Knights and into the Skinks. The Knights shouldn't have any trouble at dealing with Skink units, though they will get bogged down and probably destroyed fighting Saurus, so we will have to be careful. And there we go, very, very nice. And then the other couple of units of Knights, the Varric Reavers in the lead, together with Varric himself, will hit the other enemies from this side as well. Balance of power remains in the enemy's favor, and will probably remain as such as long as there are reinforcements to be put on the map. Still 40 units on the map, and another, what, 10-ish to go? Damn, that's a lot of enemies. Finally, though, on the left flank, we've been able to bail out the Holen Wachter, who don't need to just hold and will now be able to take the offensive. One of the necromancers has arrived to buff them up and help them out, heal them up. Their stats going up to 78, 72 with the Vigor Mortis and the various buffs that they get here. Our knights are now causing havoc in the back lines of the enemy. Although we do have to back off instead of fighting Saurus directly here, as obviously Black Knights are rather fragile. With some exceptions. The Varix Reavers right here are pretty alright. 73 melee attack, 47 melee defense. Frankly, if we had more space in the army, I'd have sort of necromancers on horseback riding around with the knights as well, but obviously we just don't have the space for it. That would make the blob of knights quite a bit stronger. Anyway, once again, lancers or greatswords, it doesn't matter against skinks, as the skinks just don't have the stats to deal with these guys, especially as we continue summoning zombies among their number. And well, if it isn't a Croxagore Ancient, love these guys' animations, those spin to wins that they love to do, but unfortunately this guy's gonna get focused down by our crossbows, and by the looks of it, starting to take damage. There we go, one nice volley, and he loses, what, 10% of his HP or so from one of the units? Very nice. A few more of those, and this guy, I'm sure, will go down rather quick. There we go. Look at that HP drop. Manny, in the meantime, is focusing down a much more important target, as Kroggark himself has finally entered the fray, though not for very long, as between the Spirit Leech and the fact that he foolishly jumped into this huge pile of halberds, he got focused down and brought down. Out here, we have the Knights who have managed to trap a massive drove of skinks and a few Saurus, and allowed the rest of our slower moving infantry to close the distance with them and start to surround them as well. A heck of a brawling battle. Man, what a great fight. Now this is a minor settlement siege. This feels appropriate. We are really having to work for it, and our units are suffering damage as they go. Manny's down to less than 50% of his healing cap, so we're being really careful with him, but the balance of power has at last shifted in our favor, even if the enemy does still have rather reinforcements moving up. Still gotta hack our way through just so many lizards. Feels a little bit odd to be the ones outnumbered, I guess, when you're playing the undead, but I mean, for really cheap, we could have a Master Necromancer following around every single army with just a full pile of zombies. And there is good reason to do so, and it also feels appropriate. And I might do that at some point, but, well, right now, that point isn't right now, let's say. No, it would also be a good idea to do it early so that those necromancers that are following armies around will also level. Though I suppose on the other hand, maybe they don't work with every single army composition. I mean, obviously they work, it's just aesthetically. We'll see, though they would work with this one. Anyway, for now, we're going to continue. The Graveguards still facing off against Saurus wherever they are holding. Obviously, the Skinks die or shatter or break rather quickly, but the Saurus will hold considerably longer. Bounce power, maybe 70%, maybe 65% in our favor. Kind of hard to tell. And we've got essentially concentric rings of fighting against the enemies. Us surrounding them, them surrounding us, etc., etc., etc. We are also at this point, I believe, nearly or completely out of mana, which means no more zombies on the field. It means no more heals. It means no more zombies staying on field, as they will disintegrate due to the lack of mana to keep them on field. So that is certainly another element of danger to what remains of this particular fight. Kevin von Lloydstein leading the left flank now. Nice to have one of our sub-commanders present in every one of these little skirmish areas. And looks like some of those skinks are breaking while others are still fighting. And it looks like a unit of skink skirmishers has flanked our Sylvanian crossbows and started to do a little bit of damage to them, so we'll turn and volley right back at them. And unlike the chameleon skinks, the skink skirmishers will be fragile enough to be destroyed like this. After a few volleys, I'm sure. Just listening to these guys fire their crossbows. There we go, and let's see, they've taken about half of the HP off the enemy skink skirmishers. Lovely. Otherwise, bounce power is at about 70% in our favor now, and we have captured the main enemy key building. And by the looks of it, what reinforcements remain in the enemy army are all skink reinforcements, which means we can run them down. The Black Knights should have no trouble with any of the newcomers. Unprotected as they are by Saurus, we can charge right in and through multiple of the enemy units. We have enough mass to push them around as well. And just keep on attacking them. 344 kills on the Virix Reavers, 351 now, and 290 on the Impalers. The Black Knights are certainly doing great work here. With Kroq-Gar dead, I believe all the enemy lords and heroes, in fact, dead. The enemy army is in shambles. This necromancer that got damaged early by the enemy javelins and by the enemy pterodon riders is still in trouble, though. And that low leadership that we started with, for whatever reason, is really hurting him as well, as he just can't seem to recover enough leadership to not be melting away. And his healing cap is very low, so that's a bit of a concern as well. Anyway, balance of power shifts 100% in our favor now, and with that, the battle is at last ours. Took a heck of a lot of effort to take these two pyramids, this minor settlement, but it was a heck of a fight. Might be my favorite fight in the campaign so far. Expecting more great ones as we go. Now we're going to do our best to chase the enemy at least for a few seconds, but we will have to end the battle before our necromancer melts away, so we can't quite chase them all down and can't quite destroy them all, but all good. Ooh, what a fight. We, at the end there, we could have even maybe chased down the rest of the enemy skinks, but one of our necros was melting away. I gotta give it up to the AI, or give it to the AI, made very good use of the pterodon riders. They may not have had fire leech bolas to annoy our blobs of infantry, but they were able to hang around and continuously use their javelins to heavily damage both necromancers, which essentially kept the necromancers more or less out of the fight and always in danger of getting killed, especially by javelin or by the various skinks. Tough working our way through the enemy, and the Holenwachter essentially had to hold our entire left flank by themselves against a ton of enemies, but they managed to rack up 457 kills and 60,000 damage. We were struggling a little bit in that particular battle in terms of leadership, which was a little bit surprising. But we'll get to that in a second. 576 kills and 62,000 damage on Virix Reavers, 55k and 369 on the Impalers, and 45k and 372 on the Whites of the Nine, 52k and 303 on Whites of the Black Woes, and 61k and 462 on the Tattered Banner Knights. Great job to the Black Knights in that fight. Damn. Great job to everybody. Yeah, lovely. Alright, too bad we couldn't get to you, but, I normally think that I probably wouldn't do this, but I think we're going to loot and occupy just because I'm a little bit worried about the necromancer dying. Alright, and that healed him up to close to half health. We're going to delete this, we're going to repair you, and we're going to get you up to a gibbet. Enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle, enemy killed in battle, Gambler's Armor, and there it is, Saurus Smiter, the reason that we wanted Kroq-Gar, and I mean, I doubt that we'll ever get to him, but Nakai for all that extra bonus melee defense, which we really lack on Manny. He could also use Hello, your recruitment cost for Banshees. Huh. I mean, actually, that's kind of, it should be 100% because it's kind of a pretty lackluster ancillary. Anyway, we have enough Vampire Corruption out here to get out of the settlement and continue our channeling, which we need to do. Huh, we have 5,000. Oh, right, we killed a ton of units here. At 5,000, I do believe we'll get good stuff coming up in Rosetro eventually, and just gotta give him some time. And I did see that there was another one at 5,000 at the Temple of Skulls, so we might be able to get some good units out of that. Very, very nice, Manny. Very nice all around. Wilmar of the Thousand Wings. You... okay, I will maybe move you in a second. You two can't move right now. I guess it's time to move the tech thieves again. Alright, so tech thieves. One more time.
Immortal. It will be as
Steel tech failure, disappointing. Come on now. And steel oh, guys, please. We need that tech for you to succeed more. We need to get the plus 10% success chance. Alright, what about you? 65, 30, and 5 versus 29 and 6. Kind of similar. Alright, do sentry glades first. Oh, come on, man. Why did you fail? Alright. Somebody save this. We should have another tech thief running around somewhere, shouldn't we? Oh, body snatcher's back up, but he's not near anything. I don't know if there's anybody at Morgheim. There's probably Skaven at Floating Village, so... Actually, no. We know that they're at Karakazgal, so just go to Karakazgal, whatever. We're gonna attack Clan Wars no matter what. You keep going to find Silostra. And that's all the tech thieves I believe that we have right now. How close are you to Silostra? Getting there. Vampire corruption still visible at the Twisted Glade, so their capital is still up and running, which is nice. Alright, what do we have next? I think we're gonna forego attacking Clan Worms as yet. I mean, we've opened up another front and it's kind of iffy. Go here and, well, raiding is actually not so great. Just channel. You two, stay together. Channel a little bit. Until you're both maxed out, until we're ready to fight these guys. We could attack Gelberaz at any moment. After all. Next up, building. We do have money. Land of the Dead. Gosh, we're still a little bit expensive, and I'm going to wait on that. Blood Tag Xandri. Yes, let's upgrade the Murky Harbor, get that Screeching Kiln up and running. Also upgrade the Shady Township, and to try to get the Gibbet and the Pigment Grinder shop up and running. And Coast of Erebus, yes. 6,000 gold for Kofor Harbor, but it is a money generator, and we damn well need them. Karagarud, I guess we're going to go for the Obsidian Trinket Maker, and that's all the money we have. All that cash gone just like that. Alright, hero capacity is about to increase as well, which is nice. We got, another Morbid Curiosity. So another tech thief, we just need 13,000 gold. Where are we gonna get 13,000 gold? Any deals we could make? Rictus and Moors. We could actually do a temporary non-aggression pact with Moors and then kill them later. There's potential for it, although I fear that the parts of Sartosa won't like that, and I mean, there's a good potential for a lot of our allies not to like it. On the other hand, it'll mean they're not attacking us until we attack them. On the other hand, it'll mean we'll have to... could betray them. I'm gonna leave it alone for now. Anything else looking good here? Unfortunately not. Quarterly Bars wants peace, and frankly, so does these guys. And I guess we could cancel the gallows. I don't want to cancel the gallows. Alright, we'll get them up and running. No, we should cancel it. The thing is, we need to mill, and the best way to mill is by getting these guys up and running. So, where's the nearest? Okay, that's you. Or is it you, Gorgazan? Agrul Migdal, or wait, Death Gorge? Yeah, let's do Death Gorge. Morbid Curiosity, another tech thief, and you shall be. Let's take another one that we haven't gotten. Undead Researcher. Researcher. Come on, didn't fit in the first line. Researcher, there we go. Alright, and obviously you're gonna go into Specialist, and into Steel Tech, and then I guess 1 point into Wound, in case we need to wound some jerks. Alright, unassigned skill points ignored, building upgrade ignored, and wait. You've reached rank 10. Not ignored. Monstrosities of More. Upkeep reduction for Crypt Horrors. And the Grotesque Court for physical resistance for both Crypt Ghouls and Horrors. Much needed. Yeah, Ghoul King of Ashura. That's what we want to get. The massive heal and the damage resistance. Frankly, it'll make... it'll probably make the... Oh, you're rank 10 as well. Nice. It'll probably make healing potions not as super useful for you. Did that go up? 1065? 243? It seems... I guess it did. Okay, good. And Manny, you still need to go through Children of the Night, and I think now you can start doing so. Actually, no. Well, your army is actually fairly cheap right now because we have reductions. We need to get to Lord of Darkness for the passive abilities because he casts a lot. So... Let's get Soul Blight, because it's a really good spell, and we do have further reductions for it out of the Lore Master Lore of Death. This does not reduce Van Hell's Dance Macabre, but we should probably get it up and running, as it's a solid spell as well, especially into the blobs of units. I don't particularly care for Aspect of the Dread Knight, although the extra leadership might be good. Speaking of leadership, yeah, we're at 58. Surprisingly low leadership on these guys, huh? Go figure. Enemy Source Warriors have way more leadership. This isn't a mod thing. Like the new mod didn't do this, right? Were they always that low leadership? I don't remember anybody having leadership problems before, but it could have just been that fight, I guess. Anyway, let's end the turn. And we'll head to Lamia and pick up the next book. But yeah, leadership. Gotta watch out for it. Kroggar wants peace, but we don't. Even though we have defeated him, he's got a lot of green territory, so we gotta make use of it. Man, what a good fight. This entire episode, just good fight after good fight. I'm living for it. Alright, what do we have here? Creator for Manny? Not so much, but yeah, sure. Alright, nothing here as yet, but it'll take a while for them to build up. You're gonna go here. I guess we'll take Doomglade, and then go down to Temple of Skulls. I mean, we could chase after this guy immediately, but I think we'll probably be fine. Bathilda, I would like you to besiege Lamia.
Time to die.
Ooh, 4.8k casualties. Wait. I want to see if there's anything interesting here. Okay, well, I think we're probably not seeing Vargeists because we don't have capacity for them, unless we have 2 to start. I don't remember. We'll see. Lamia. No defenders, so we could auto-resolve. Yeah, oh, well, we can't do it this turn anyway. Let's do that. Alright, plenty of siege towers and all of that available to us. And, oh, okay, we're out of time, I'm having so much fun that I didn't even consider it. So there's no more battles to be had. I just want to double check one thing. Can we find Silustra this turn? I think we'll be just a teensy bit too far. Maybe. I see factions encountered. Yeah, the Drowned, alright. And then you can go find other vamps. I see Tyrion's hanging around here. Minus 60. Well, we'll trade with her for now, although the trade value might help us easily vassalize her at some point. On the other hand, we could just do alliance. Here's the thing. If we vassalize her right now... Well, actually, no, that wouldn't put her at war with 10, would it? You know what? Hold off on the trade for now. We might still be able to get something out of that. Anyway, folks, we're out of time, and I'm going to call the episode here. Next time we pick up the next Book of Nagash from Lamia, we'll continue building up our ghostly units for our ghost army as well, and I'll maybe do some of the more tedious aspects of the admin between the episodes. The ghost army will then move down here, and we'll probably start the Blood Dragon's pike and shot army of Graveguard halberds and handgunners as well. Next time. Let me know what you think about the mod that gives us the additional units, and how you feel about that, and the sort of outpost rework that it does. Stay tuned for more. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes and to maintain the streak. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.